always when we in Sweden think about Danish bands, we think about Gasoline. How have they influenced you?
I don't think they have that much of influence actually. To be honest, they were a different band and from a different time era almost. But so I don't know. I mean, personally, I think they were the greatest rock band of all time in Denmark. But I don't know. It's your music.
Yeah, there's always been a great respect for Gasoline in Volbeat, but I think that maybe Jung is the biggest fan of Gasoline, but it's like I've been talking to Kim a couple of times, and he have my deepest respect. I would like to do a song with this guy. He's the biggest songwriter in Denmark. Maybe, I don't know, maybe later on he will actually be able to give us some kind of inspiration when we just want to sing Danish.
Which nobody understands except us.
More questions? As they said, last chance.
What about DAD?
What?
DAD?
DAD?
Yeah, well,
What about them?
they're good.
Yeah, sure. Of course they're good. What?
Are they fans of you?
Not really.
We just played a gig with them last week, and they're legends in Denmark, and they've been they released tons of records, and for a very long time, there was no competitive band in Denmark, so they were always the top of the hill, and suddenly Volbeat came up, and it's not being competitive because these guys are still great, even though that perhaps we are more hot right now than they are, but they've been around for 20 years. And they're still here, and that's really strong, and that's beautiful. And we are actually playing.
It's not the same kind of music. It's
but we still
style.
we're actually
Power
playing.
punk.
Yeah, and we're actually planning to do something with
it's
those
been
guys.
years.
They're a good band.
Goddag, Tobias from Metal Moments. I'm going to do the question in English. Volbeat seem to have a tradition of playing new songs on tour. On the Rock the Rebel, we heard some of the Cadillac songs, and now we're on the Cadillac tour. We hear some new songs. Is this a conscious choice for you, or it's just something that happens?
Yeah, but why not? Why not play some songs? We're working on it. We just spent some days in the rehearsal room, and why not try it out? It's not like a big secret what's gonna happen. And it's also fun for us to try to play some new material. Some of the songs we played 100, 200, 500 times. So it's great just to play a new song. It's also great to see how people react to the song, because sometimes we try something different. It's nice to see if it works.
Yeah, and in the rehearsal room, there's only 4 of us, and we're gonna say, "Oh, man, it's fucking great." But if you play it live for the audience, you can actually see the reaction. And
they're singing along, and they even know the song. So that's the best
I don't
thing.
even know the lyrics, but they seem to know it.
The lyrics are unwritten, and people still sing along. That's pretty interesting.
So when can we expect a new album?
Very early next year.
1 year from now, something like that.
Yeah.
And so, do you have any plans for the upcoming record?
Of course, we already have the album title. We already have the idea for the cover artwork. Lots of ideas. It's been trying out right now in the rehearsal room. I think we have around 4 or 5 new songs already. So far, we have material enough for 2 albums, but it's definitely for sure that half of it's gonna suck, so we have to write new material. We're working pretty hard on next album as we always did. So very early next year we're gonna go into the Jacob Hansen studio again to record, and a couple of months after it's gonna be released.
Yeah. You mentioned the artwork and so. Are you going to stick to the winning concept?
Are we?
The sound and so on?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna stick to it. There's always gonna be few new items and maybe try something just a little new, but the basic line will always be what we
It's
are.
working. So
You know, we are what we are.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think you're going to expect some sort of, for instance, a black metal album from us or anything. We know what we can do. But on the other hand, you might do. No, we know what we can do, and we know what we can't do.
Yeah.
And we know what this thing is, so we're going to stick to that. And hopefully people will like it. And if not, we're still going to be around here.
There's still gonna be an album.
That's not going to be an album. Maybe.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any more questions?
They're too shy.
Okay, who's got the final question then?
Hey guys, if you like, you wouldn't be doing music, and there was no Volbeat, what would you be doing? Like, could you imagine doing anything else?
If we weren't here,
I think I'm gonna do my job as I've always been doing.
Yeah, the thing is, of course, everybody have been working with something else before they did Volbeat. The last couple of years we have been able to make a living playing Volbeat. Before I did Volbeat, I was a support teacher at a school, and it started out that I was a support teacher for a handicapped kid. I learned him to be around normal people in a normal day class. And after that, I actually took over and had kids in math, English, Danish, history. That's still not that I like to be a teacher, because I don't think I'm the right one to teach people what's the right thing. But I would still like to be able to help handicapped kids. So maybe when the day comes when I'm not able to make a good living and playing in Volbeat, I'll go back to my old job, supporting handicapped kids.
That was great.
I
Final
know,
words.
I know it sounds good, but that was actually my job.
Not without.
I was, no matter what, we would still be here, singing our songs. But the question was, if we were not, capable of doing what we were doing, you still have to, get bread on the table. And I would definitely like to go back to work with handicapped kids.
Okay, Volbeat has one more?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I would like to hear some words from you about being a part of so many festivals this summer. When I was checking your website, you went through so many festivals, and I would like to know, how did you manage to, aren't you tired to play, and what gives you energy? Because this is like crazy schedule, very tight.
Maybe that's the right question for the most, the oldest man in the band.
No, you don't get tired of it. You can get tired during the day, of course, driving in the bus or flying or whatever. But as soon as you get up on the stage, and you see all the people, you don't get tired, because they're here to see you. No matter if it's a festival or a club gig or whatever, but they're there to see you. So always you're gonna go like, wow. So no, you don't get tired. The only thing that we really get tired about with these festival kind of things is we never get to see anything at all, except for some no names mentioned, but some crappy bands. Not our favorite bands. That's the worst part. But
there's not such a thing as a crappy band. It's all about taste.
Sure. Without the fans, we're nothing.
They're buying the tickets. They're,
You know how stupid it will look out there with us jumping around and no people there? It would be pretty hard for us to do what we do if we didn't have the support of our fans. And that's why we even though some people in the crowd might hate it, we still spend a few minutes every show to thank everybody. Because, you can never take for granted that people show up at our shows.
We always show them where the merch stand is.
Of course.